everyone. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Friday. So, today I posted in the community page as well as in the tag in the description of this conversation that I want to have. So, welcome in, guys. Welcome to the live. Hope everyone is having a grand morning, grand rising, top of the morning, and all that good stuff to you guys. Welcome in. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to tap in before we get into this conversation. I was going to go walking, but this was really heavy on my mind, so I wanted to talk about it because it's something that just recently happened, and then I saw something last evening on social media with some YouTube content creators that were having some beef. So I want to talk about real quick mental illness, especially dealing with people in your family or loved ones. Um, Sometimes I think people need more from us than just say, hey, how you doing? Good to see you, good to talk to you. Sometimes I think family members, friends, and other ones, they need more from us than that. But when do you hold space for people with mental illness without crossing boundaries and really just getting into their business? Or when do you have an intervention with someone that you really love? And I'm gonna give you the backstory to why I want to bring. I know it's Friday and everybody is waiting for the weekend and all that stuff, and we're still going to do Friday night live, Friday night vibes. But this is something I really want to talk about, and just to get you guys' opinions. You know, a lot of us have people in our family that are dealing with mental illness. We see the signs, we see a lot of things that maybe they are going through, maybe they have spoken about, but we sometimes say, well, you know, this just so and so, you know, they'll be okay. They do this all the time. But when do you know, or when do you know that maybe this person is crying out for help more than it's just, oh, that's just their behavior, that's how they act? Give them a couple of days, they'll be okay. And the reason that I say that I'm posing this question to you is because this experience didn't happen to me, but it happened to someone that was really close to me. So yeah, welcome in, guys, in the live chat. Welcome. Thank you guys for always tapping in. You can see that I'm here in my favorite spot. This beautiful lake that's behind me for the backdrop. I just wanted it to kind of serve this scene for what I want to talk about. I don't want it to be really, you know, gloom, but I wanted to set the atmosphere, and I thought this backdrop would be the perfect place to have this conversation. So yeah, guys, welcome. Who's in the chat? Hi, Pascal. Thank you. How are you? I'm well, thank you. It's a beautiful Friday morning, and you can see that I'm out here enjoying this beautiful lake experience and all of that good stuff. The water is so beautiful. There are people out here just walking, doing their thing. But yeah, guys, welcome. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, double tap the screen. Consider joining or subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Support your girls, so that we can get to meet our quota for the end of this month to get our 500 subscribers. But yeah, guys, I want to talk about this because I really think it's really serious. But recently, a friend of mine, I'm not going to call her name, but she had a friend of hers that was dealing with mental illness, and it was a known thing. You know, this person, you know, took, you know, medication and all of this, and she did a lot of things to really just make sure that her mental was on point. She did all the therapy. She did all the things that she was trying to cultivate in her life, in her space, to make sure she was okay. But there are telltale signs when people have really that are dealing with mental illness, but they need intervention, or they need that step further, if you know what I'm saying. So she was talking to her friend particular morning, and within 5 hours of that conversation, she got a phone call from the friend's daughter that this friend of hers had unalived herself. And she was so distraught, y'all, because she had just talked to her friend not 5 hours before. And she was wondering, like you watch this beautiful lady, she was wondering in the conversation she and I had, what more could she have done? Was it something that she missed? They talked about mental illness. They, discussed if you really, really need me, or if you get to a place where things become overwhelming, I'm here for you. So that's why I want to do this live this morning, because this is something that's fresh, and we know a lot of people, whether it's personal in our circle, that we see that may be dealing with overwhelming, maybe with the stress of children or work, or just the cares of this world. And sometimes, when in my experience, that I know that people are not going to always talk to you directly about issues that are going on in their life, but make no mistakes, people do give telltale signs. There are always red flags. There are always something that sometimes it's the little things that we overlook, because they are showing up, they are putting on a happy face, they are engaging, but still in the midst of all of that, they leave little breadcrumbs, little bit of drops behind or in the conversation. I think sometimes because we seeing them in this present moment as being happy, they're engaging, they're interacting, but in that conversation, you'll take my word that they leave little breadcrumbs. Maybe they show up to the conversation, but they're still a little off-putting, or maybe they show up to the conversation, and they maybe say something that you like, what does she mean by that? So how do we support people with mental illness without crossing boundaries, without, invading their space, without not saying taking it out of context, but, you don't want to make an intervention, or you don't want to do a particular thing, and that they just was, having an off day. But when I tell you that I've watched, and when this came about, I was watching, my friend told me this happened. I was watching some social media, and I'm going to get back to it. I was watching some social media channels last night, and I was coming across a particular ones that was having online beef. And you can clearly tell that the people that was having these online situation with each other, that there was something off balance. The way that they were speaking, the way that they were so angry and so matter of fact, and their first outlet was, I do this to you and I do that to you, that I don't mind going there. They say all of these subtle things, and we really don't take people at their word anymore. And when I tell you, people are dealing with so much, people are so stressed from the cares of this world, job, children, finances, with just the thing that is going on, with uncertainty, with prices, being inflated, just everything. And we can't really take it lightly that, oh, they'll just get over it, or, everybody is going through this. But if you really are tapped in, and you really, really know that this person is struggling, and you know that it's only going to take just the small things that would push them over the edge, how do you show up for your loved ones, or your friends, or your family members, or your co-workers? How do you show up, and how do you get them to understand that you're only there out of a concern for their mental, for their well-being? That you know what I'm saying? How do you show up for them in that space without them thinking that you'll cross the line, or that that you need to back off, or things like that, and then you go home or you get a phone call that this person has unalived themselves. How would that make you feel, or how would that, affect your mental, emotionally, physically, and all of that, as someone that you know has done that to themselves? So I wanted to have this conversation because my friend was very, she was affected. She was really, really affected by this situation, because she had just spoken to her friend, not again, a couple of hours prior, and she had no indication, or she didn't lead with anything that would make her, that would make her be concerned in that moment, in that time, that this person was contemplating doing this to herself. So yeah, guys, let's open the dialogue and have a conversation. I know me personally, I've made videos before of, I'm just using myself as an example, because everything that I share here is from my own experience, that I have had personal contact or knowledge of in my personal life. And I know that mental illness can be a very, very touchy subject topic. A lot of people don't want to deal with. A lot of people don't want to talk to. A lot of people don't want, others to know that, someone they love or close to may be struggling. And let me just tell you, it's okay to have struggle. It's okay not to have it all together, not to have it all figured out, to be overwhelmed with things that may be going on that you think that you should be able to handle. And it's okay to reach out for help. It's okay to talk to people. It's okay to seek help. That doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make any less of a person because you are struggling in an area that you think that you should be proficient in, or that you should be past, or that everybody is dealing with something. So why should I make my situation that important? It is important. Everyone's situation is important, especially if you are thinking self-harm to yourself, and especially if there are children involved, spouses involved. At the end of the day, I think it's really important for us as family members, friends, that we really have these conversations with our loved ones. What do you do in this situation? What other, do we need to come up with some type of support word, or do we need to come up with some type of phrase to let that person know that, hey, this is serious, then I want to let on? Is there a safe word, or that you want to, it's something that you got to institute or that you got to implement, so that you won't be on the other receiving end of a phone call that no one wants to get. You know what I'm saying? So I myself had family members as well, and I think I made a post about it maybe a couple of months ago. It may have been a year, dealing with my with one of my son that was having struggles with his mental health, and it's really, really hard, and can be overwhelming as the caretaker or the mother or the father of a person that are struggling with mental illness. You want so much to be able to take away their pain. You want so much to be able to just wrap your arms around them and to reiterate that everything is going to be okay. But I know from my personal experience, as well as my friend who's now dealing with it, with the unalivement of her friend, my situation, my son was just dealing with mental illness, but I know he had the propensity, and he had the I know that there have been struggle in his past that he has done things to himself. So I know all the red flags. I know the warning signs. I know when to back off. I know when to push against, the current, so to speak. So I know all the red flags when he really, really is reaching out and he needs the intervention without saying he needs the intervention. And when that situation happened with my son, and as a parent, I'm telling you, it's the most heartbreaking thing to see your children, whether they are young people or they are adult children. It's still very overwhelming and very hard to see your loved ones struggling. And then come to find out that the issue that they're struggling with and the things that you didn't even know that they were doing behind closed doors. Oh my goodness, it is such a heartbreaking thing. But this is where you come in as that caregiver or that support person to be extra strong for that person, to not to break or bend or show any cracks in your stamina or show any cracks in your foundation. It's the time when these people, our loved ones, need us to be strong more than, really showing that, this is so overwhelming for you that, you just can't show any cracks or any breaks, what I'm saying, because this is not the time. Somebody has to be the strong one in this situation. And again, get back to my son, when we really found out the depth of what his crisis was and what he was doing to himself, it was so heartbreaking. We didn't know as parents, because we are older parents to younger adult children, and so some of these things that our young people are dealing with, cutting themselves, some things that they're dealing with, writing, harmful journal entries, things that they are contemplating, they want to do. Life is so hard, or I just don't want to be here. What would life be like if I just, wasn't here? What would it be like if I did this to myself? All of these type of things, a lot of red flags that I know as a parent, that I see and that I'm always aware, even when they come out of that situation and they are seeking a professional help that they need. I still, as a parent, as a caregiver, I'm always intentional watching, checking in on them. How are you doing today? Is there anything that I can do for you? Trying to make that path just a little bit easier, because you know that anything can overwhelm them. Any small little thing can really just set them off. So when my friend, when I got the word about my friend situation and her and the unalignment of her friend, it just brought back to me so many situations, so many things that I personally have had experience in, and it just brought back so many memories that life is so, you can be here today, gone tomorrow, in just a snap of a finger. And I just want to come on here and just to encourage you guys, if you know someone that are struggling with mental health illness, or they are struggling with mommyhood, they are struggling, financially. And I know that a lot of us may be in a situation where we can't help them financially, but whatever assistance that we can offer our friends and our loved ones, anything that's going to alleviate that, and not to say, oh, well, just get up and, just do what you got to do. Everybody is going through, all of this stuff. Is not that easy, guys. If you have never, ever dealt with mental illness, if you have never dealt with postpartum depression, if you have never dealt with any type of childhood trauma, if you have never dealt with any type of emotional, spiritual trauma or issue, it's easy to say those things from looking in from the outside. But when you are that person and you are in the midst of that storm, it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different situation. So we can say, what you shoulda, coulda, woulda, or what you need to do, blah, 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 and all that stuff. But you don't want to, again, be on the receiving end of that phone call when you could have made a difference, or you could have stepped up and offered whatever type of assistance, love, encouragement, support, stretching yourself out of your comfort zone and taking the emotions, your personal emotion, out of this situation, and really just showing up for someone who's not able to do it for themselves. I really think that we're in a society today that people are all about themselves. It's me, my, for, and no more. I came up out the mud, and then you got to do it the same way. And I think that's the wrong attitude to have. I think people are not really tapped into their heart chakra, the love chakra. I know it's the heart chakra, but people are really not, well, I say love too, because people are so caught up in all of this false stuff that are going on in the world, that, that they are really not, they don't really just give a care if people are, going through things. And I think that's going to be detriment to us as a culture and as a society if we don't really have a safe haven or build a community for people when they really need it. One that's of trust, one that's safe, one that's going to not be judgmental, one that's going to be there for people who are really struggling. Because just because it hasn't hit your doorstep today does not mean that somewhere down the road you could yourself be in a situation where you need the aid, the comfort, and the support of the community or someone else. So I said all that to say, just check on your loved ones. Make sure they're okay. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, we may have to cross some boundaries. We may have to show up and be a matter of fact about the thing, especially if you love that person and you want to, see that person, be successful. You want to make sure that they're getting the help and the attention that they need. Sometimes just holding space for them is okay, but the severity of it, sometimes holding space means that, I'm sorry, sis, I'm sorry, bro, but I may be out of line, I may be overreacting, but I'd rather overreact and cross boundaries than to have that person in the midnight hour and having all of these conflicts or all these ideology in their heads, playing with them, and they don't know how to filter these things out, and they, do the unthinkable. So I'd rather overstep my boundaries. I'd rather intervene, and to make sure that person is okay. Even if it means calling this person all throughout the day, even if it means going over, unexpectedly to their home, just doing welfare checks, checking on people. I'm telling you, it's so many people that are dealing with mental illness, and they can camouflage it so well. People, it's almost just like some people who are functioning alcoholic, if you've heard that cliche or that term before. They can be drunk or do all of this stuff all day, drink themselves under the table, and get up in the morning on time and go to work and function like nothing has ever happened. And that's the way it is with mental illness. People can put on a front in front of you. They can say all the right thing. They can send their representative. They can dress it up. They can do all these things. But if you really are tapped in with people and you really have a connection with people, you know when Sally is off. You know when Bob is off. It's that little crooked smile, or they're in the group but they're not really engaging. It's just the small subtle things, and you can only know these things when you have tapped in with people. You can only see these red flags and know these extra things when you have labored with people, when you have spent time with people, when you have invested in people. You know these little things, just like you invested as a mom. When you hear that baby cry, in a room with 20 other kids, you know your baby's cry out of all of those 20 kids, because you are tapped in with that baby. You are vested in that baby. You know your baby's crying. You know when it's just whining, it needs to be fed, or it needs, to have a change or whatever, or just needs some comfort and some attention. And we got to get out of the mindset, that, I just don't want to get involved, it ain't my problem, woo to woo, all that kind of stuff. We got to get out of this selfish mindset that, let them get it out the mud, let them deal with it. Everybody got the cross to bear. This is not the kind of community that we're trying to leave for our children's children. This is not the type of community or type of thing that we're trying to what's the word I'm trying to think? I can't think of the word, but at some point in time, I know that I grew up in a time, in an era. I'm a little older than a lot of you guys, well, in my 50s. So I grew up in a time where everybody in the community, your next door neighbors, your aunties, your uncles, your grandmas, and all your play uncles and all your play, family members, your next, everybody took care of everybody's children. Everybody fed everybody's children. No one in my community or neighborhood had to worry about going hungry, because if my dear or Miss Sally or Miss whomever was cooking a big pot of spaghetti or beans, every child in that neighborhood who was hungry, whose parents may be struggling, going to eat. Everybody's going to eat. Nobody's child is going to go hungry. Everybody took care of everybody's children. And I don't know when and what point in time in life that we got away from that foundation was tore up, that those communities are scarce. It's a scarcity to have those type of community. But I grew up where everybody took care of everybody. Everybody, was able to discipline or correct, the next person's child out of love, not to harm that person. We all have always had a community or a place where I can go and talk to my friend's mom or Miss Sally or my dear, or the elderly in the community. Doors are always open. If you couldn't talk to your parents or your loved one, there was someone in the community that always had outstretched arms to welcome you in, regardless of what the problems was. Somebody in the community was always there. And I think we have gotten away from that. We don't have any matriarchs. We don't have any of those ancestral things that we grew up on. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that in the community. Most of our grandmoms are in their 40s, late 30s, 40s, early 50s. These are the grandmothers that we have today. And not to say anything against that, but the grandmothers that I grew up with were grandmothers. They were in these 60s, 70s, 80s. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not pointing the finger or blame. I'm not doing all that. I'm just trying to say, at the end of the day, where has the love and the support of the community and our elders and our aunties and even strangers are there to pick up the pieces, are there to help this mother who's overwhelmed with 4 and 5 children? I don't care. Well, she should have known better than having 4 or 5 kids and ain't got no husband. So what? You did too. How many do you have? So it's not a place us pointing fingers and blaming. Our young people are so lost. They didn't have the foundation that maybe we grew up with. They don't have that stability of an uncle or an auntie or a grandmother, or we don't have. It is what it is. They don't have some of that security and teaching that we grew up with. You know what I'm saying? So we can't just point the finger and say, girl, do the best you can with what you got. We got to be so concerned, and we got to get out of this mindset that I ain't got nothing to do with it, that it ain't my business. And that's why I think so much is going on in this world, that we don't have the compassion and we don't have the heart and the love for one another. We don't care if you are making it. We don't care if you are overwhelmed. We don't care what your problem is. We don't care. We got our own issues. But my issues are not so to where I can't extend that olive branch to the next person. My situation isn't as dire that I can't, be a support system or a safe haven or have a listening ear to the next person who may need that. You know what I'm saying? So don't be that person who's going to get that phone call, that unexpected phone call that no one wants to get, about a loved one, a neighbor, a co-worker, or something that has done the unthinkable, because they felt alone, they felt isolated, they felt not validated, they felt not heard, they felt alone, they felt like no one in this world cares for them, and their only outlets or their only resource was to do the unthinkable, anything to ease the pain, anything, to escape, reality. And whether we like it or not, this is our reality. This is our reality. People are going through stuff, and it's, we can't, use the excuse that everybody is going through. Everybody is having situation. We got to get back to loving people and caring about people, and having that is still extending that olive branch to the next person, welcoming people with open arms. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're saying. I hear your thoughts. How do you know when people just using you or just playing on your emotion? You don't know, and some people do. But that's where wisdom step in. That's where your intuitiveness step in, especially if you're tapped into your higher self, to the most high, to source, in your spiritual team. You have that discernment to know that Sally is full of malarkey. Sally does this all the time. Sally just trying to get over on people. Bob is, he's just trying to get a beer. Bob, don't want to do. It does not matter. If the intentions are not pure, I'd rather be on the side of, I'm going to help you and give it to you. And whatever you do with that love, whatever you do with that support, whatever you do with that, that's on you. But if you come to me for help, and I feel or I sense that it's real and it's authentic, then I'm going to give it to you. Now, if you just, pulling a fast one on me because I have a soft heart, or because other people have a soft heart, that's totally on you. But my intention and my purpose was genuine. You know what I'm saying? So guys, yeah, you look around and just look on social media. Just take an inventory of social media itself, and mental illness is at an all-time high. People are spazzing out. People are wilding out. Maybe it's from drug use. I don't, for whatever. But you cannot denote or denounce the fact that people are on some serious mental issue situations. And it's just really heartbreaking, and I just wanted to come on and share that, because when my friend shared with me her experience about her friend, it touched me, because I've personally dealt with or dealing with people with mental illness. I myself have in the past have dealt with childhood trauma issues, and that's why I started this channel. You've seen some of the videos where I've talked about some of my childhood trauma and some of the repercussions and some of the effects that it had on me as a result of childhood trauma. So everybody has had some type of trauma, good, bad, or indifference, big or small or whatever. Everybody has had some type of struggle or trauma, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just really thankful that the people that was there to support me and to undergird me and to push me and to help me and to love on me when I needed it the most, And that's why I'm so passionate about being there for other people, showing up for other people, because I know how hard it is to trust people. I know how hard it is to open up to people and put all your personal business out there, or to share personal issues with people, in fear of being judged or scrutinized, or talked about, and all of that stuff. We make it very hard for people to open up to us about things they got going on, and we so quickly to forget that once upon a time in your life you was on the flip side of that script. You know what I'm saying? We so quick to forget that that you've had struggles, may not been as grandiose as some other people, but however, they should just prompt you to be the more compassion, have more compassion for people, because you have, what I'm saying, dealt with however small, that situation was. You've been there, and you know how hard it is, and that people struggle to open up and share something so personal and so intimate with other people, that they will harbor all of this stuff on the inside, and it just laying dormant, and it's just steady building up and building up and building up. And then you got all of these parasites and all of these entities in their head, convincing them that, they're alone, that they're not loved. Oh, just go on and just take yourself out of here. Nobody going to miss you. And you got them dealing with all of that up here in their head. And then you wonder why they don't come and talk to you, because the first thing you're going to say, girl or boy, just meditate. Just pray about it. Everything, you can't meditate everything away or pray everything away. I'm only speaking from my experience. Been there, done that. I'm not going to tell you anything that I have not personally experienced. Done the meditation, done the prayer. Now what? So that's an easy cop out to tell people, just go and pray, just go and meditate. But some people need that extended, outstretched support. Some people need that extended care. Some people need that extra, I'm gonna go an extra mile with you support. Some people need, to be to be um, to be supported with tender love and care, like with kids glove. And the joy of that, when you extend and stretch yourself outside of your comfort zone, what can you do? Just show up, just be a listening ear, just have a heart of love and compassion. And the win-win about all of this, before I get off, the win-win about showing up for people that are dealing with mental illness is that at the end of it, if they survive it, if they win and get the help and support that they needed, it was worth it all the while. Yeah, maybe they'll call you 2, 3, or 4 o'clock in the morning, with all of these issues, wanting to talk, and it may disrupt your sleep. Or, yeah, they may call you right in the time that you're getting ready to prepare dinner for your family. Or, yeah, maybe, they're calling you while you at work on the clock. But, they are screaming and crying on the phone. They need you right now. Or, yeah, maybe they call you while, you're celebrating, your birthday, or you're out doing whatever it is. We can't put a time on when someone is going to have a breakdown, or they're going to have a mental crisis flare up. You know what I'm saying? You can't put a time on it where I'm only available between this time and that time. If you are vested with these loved ones and people, you make yourself available. It's called what I'm looking for. Just going above and beyond the duty. Yeah, it may, stretch you out of your comfort zone. Yeah, it may make you want to, like, whoo, this a little much. But that's when you put on your big girl panties. That's when you call on your support team as a backup. That's when you call on the Most High. That's when you call on your spiritual team. That's when you call on the ancestors. That's when you call on your spirit guides. Hey, I need some help too. Yeah, that's really important to me. I don't know. what else to say about that? That's just something I supposed to been walking. And I still may walk after this, but I just wanted to take a pause for the cause and share it with you. I posted it in the community, So if you guys are on the channel, go over to the community page and look at today's post over there. You guys comment. I'm going to be doing weekly posting over there for you all to engage or have conversation with these different topics that I think we need to be having. So go over there and comment or leave it in the chat. If you guys are coming in, double tap the screen for your girl. Give the video a thumbs up, even if you watch it on a playback. Support the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I appreciate your support. But again, you know that this channel is a soft place. It's a soft living. It's about being there to help, to motivate, to encourage, to empower people in whatever journey they are on their life, mentally, emotionally, physically, or just being a listening ear, or just being or creating a safe place or a safe haven for people to be able to come. This is the type of community I'm trying to cultivate. This is the type of content that I'm trying to have on this page, dealing with healing. And again, healing comes in all types of things. It's not just mental. It can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be spiritual, it can be whatever. Healing can take on all types of forms. It can look like anything. It can feel like whatever. One person journey is not the other person's journey. You know what I'm saying? One person's plight is not the other person's plight. But at the end of the day, if it's a plight and you need help, then I want to be able to have this platform in this authentic way to be there. So yeah, guys. So double tap the screen, share, like, comment, all of that good stuff. I appreciate all you guys in the chat. Thank you for just stopping in and showing up. I appreciate it so very much. But yeah, guys, let's check on our loved ones, especially those that you see this beautiful background, especially those that that are struggling. Let's check on our new mummies. Let's check on our housewives that are, there with the children all day. Let's check on our people that are homeschooling their children. Let's check on Mama and Big Papa and Auntie and all that stuff. It's the small things. I'm not saying doing something big and grandiose, but it's the small things that I think goes a long way. Just you people hearing your voice, calling, checking on how I was just thinking about you, girl. I ain't want nothing. I don't send me no text. I want to hear your voice. And I think people get away with that. Now you can send me a text, but if that text is cryptic, I'm calling because this text, I want to hear your voice. I ain't want nothing, girl. Let me pick up the phone and call me. Don't text me. I want to hear your voice. I want to feel your energy. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel your energy and all of that stuff. So don't send me no text, because I'm not going to respond to a text as much as I will. I'm going to call you, because people can hide behind those texts. They're cryptic and all of that stuff. These little emojis and all of that stuff. So you just have to really be just tapped in to know how to read people, or be just tapped in and have the discernment and the wherewithal when people are really crying out for help in the most subtle way. You just got to be tapped in and to know. So condolences to anyone that is dealing with family that has done the unthinkable. Love to anyone that is struggling mentally, that are struggling with whatever you're struggling with. I hope and pray that you have a safe haven, or a place or a community that you can go, that's going to love you, support you, that's going to undergird you, that's going to help you, and all of that good stuff. So yeah, guys, just check on your loved ones, and don't be so quick to be judgmental about people that are struggling. Just because you're not, extend that olive branch, go beyond, and above. Not saying, to, if you're not able to do it as a caregiver, as a friend, then look for outside outlets or sources that you can, give them, that can help them, on their journey. Have handy or in your phone, Red Cross, mental health facilities that offer free services, counseling. Have other outlets or group, women group support groups or other things of that nature, that if you physically cannot do it and you still want to help other outlets that you can offer your friends, family, or loved ones, to aid them on their journey. If you are not mentally, emotionally in a place that you can do anything, but you still want to give your support and help, and you still want to see these people win and get healthy and get well. You know what I'm saying? Each one teach one. If I'm winning, you winning. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tapping in. But if you see something, say something. Even if you may be a little off, and they get mad at you, I'd rather for you be mad at me, and all that good stuff. And you'll get over that in a couple of days, but hopefully that will indicate to you that someone really cares and really loves you, and they're really down for you, and they got your back, and don't want anything for you but to see you win and be healthy. So you guys, make sure you're taking care of your mental. Be sure that you are, getting out in nature. Be sure that you guys are, doing all the things that, to keep yourself, doing some self-care regimens, eating healthy as much as you can, with all the stuff that there, it's a whole stuff, another situation, but that you are eating as healthy as you can, getting enough nourishment, enough water, enough fruits and vegetables, your vitamins, and all of that stuff that's going to keep you well and happy, doing all the things that you need to do to take care of yourself, your self-care regimen, and all that kind of good stuff. But guys, leave in a comment if you, found this video to be helpful, insightful. Share it with someone that you think it may resonate with, or that maybe needed to hear a word of encouragement this morning. They may need to hear that they're not alone. They may need to hear that, that there are people and communities out here, that has, a listening ear that wants to help and support you, even if it's just listening. Sometimes people don't want you to do anything but just to listen. Say nothing but just listen, just to hear them. Let them vent and get it. And don't be, another thing before I end. We got to get out of this high and mighty thing when people, are going through and they're upset. And if you're not, and they cuss, and say all these words, let it be what it is. Don't be so shocked that people, in expressing their feelings or their thoughts or their emotion, they, may say some cuss words or whatever. Don't, if that throws you off or if that upsets you, then no, you're not the one for them. Because I'm not so offended because you cussing, or that you expressing your situation, in the way that you are expressing. You may say a whole lot of expletives. You may say every foul word that there is. Don't be like, oh my God, she's saying cuss word. And don't let that be the determining factor. Don't let that offend you to the point that, that you just harden your heart to want to help someone because, they may be different to you than you. They may not believe the same thing as you believe, or, they, according to you, are not on the same level that you are on. Girl, bye. Everybody's on their journey. Everybody's in their place, at the time or at the pace that there need to be. So have some grace and some patience for people that has not elevated or evolved to the level that you say that you are at. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, guys, don't forget to double tap that screen. If you all coming in on the playback, you see this video, give it a thumbs up. Show your girls some love. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'm all Don't be looking at me about, oh girl, you look out. It is what it is. Subscribe to the channel. I'm trying by the end of this month get 500 subscribers. So help your girl in the endeavor. But again, turn on your notifications so that you'll be notified every time that I upload a video. I hope you guys enjoyed this beautiful backdrop, this scenery today. Again, check on your loved ones. Check on your loved ones. Even though it's Friday, you're ready to turn up and let loose and all that stuff. Check on your loved ones. Make sure that they're straight and all that good stuff. And remember, guys, you know my mantra that I'm going to end with. Again, go into the community. Y'all, please. Go to the community, tap in over there. I'm posting things over there on the regular now. A lot of engaging questions and things that we can talk about. So go over there and really tap into the community page. Leave comments over there or express whatever it is you want to express or share over there in the community. Let's get that popping. So yeah, guys, you know my motto. Remember to always protect your energy. With love and light, this is God's the Color, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till next time, peace and love, family.